Good morning to all. Let us move on to the session 6 of module 3, and the subject is material science. In the previous session, we have discussed about various surface heat treatments, and now look into the ferrous and non-ferrous materials. Let us take the ferrous materials as first. In the ferrous material, the very important material is cast iron, and the cast iron is formed when iron with 1.72 to 7.5% of carbon and 0 to 3% of silicon is added. It results in the formation of cast iron. And the various properties of the cast iron are a lower melting point and more fluid than the steel. That means in the liquid condition, the flowability of the liquid material is very more compared to the steel. And this particular property helps in casting of especially the component having a very integrate details or very complex shapes, so that the liquid metal can flow into and it can get the shape of the mold. Low cost material usually produced by the sand casting, and the cast iron is the very cheap material, and usually it is produced by the what you call sand casting. And this cast iron has got wide range of properties, and properties the properties that are useful for engineering applications are strength, hardness, ductility, thermal conductivity, and damping capacities. So all these properties will vary depending upon the composition and as well as the cooling rate. Let us see what happens with respect to the cooling rate. Slow cooling favors formation of graphite and low hardness and results in low hardness. Rapid cooling promotes carbides with a high hardness. So when you decrease the cooling rate, graphite is formed and hardness is decreased. When you increase the cooling rate, carbide is formed and hardness will be resulted. And thick sections cool slowly, while the thin sections cool quickly. This is natural with respect to any of the material. Sand modes cools slowly, but metal chills can be used to increase the cooling rate or to control the cooling rate, and promotes white cast iron. And in the cast iron, depending upon the phase composition, we have got the following types: white cast iron, grey cast iron, malleable cast iron, spheroidal graphite or spheroidal graphite cast iron, nodular cast iron, and alloy cast iron. As per your syllabus, the nodular cast iron and alloy cast iron are not there, and we have to study the first four materials, that is white, grey, malleable, and SG. Let us move on to white cast iron. Let us move on to white cast iron. The main characteristics of white cast iron are: white cast iron derives its name from the fact that its freshly broken surface shows bright white fracture. So that means when the white cast iron is get separated or cutted off, and the new surface formed will be very bright, and because of that it is called as white cast iron. When iron of proper composition cools fast enough, the free carbon will go go in the combined form, and gives rise to white cast iron. Give rise to white cast iron. The result is the material with a lot of iron carbide, iron carbide. Iron carbide is extremely hard and brittle. Thus, white cast iron possesses excellent abrasive wear resistance. White cast iron under normal circumstances is brittle and not suitable for machining, or not easily machined. White cast iron can made in sand molds. The certification range of white cast iron is 1550 to 1665 Fahrenheit, and the range of sinkage is 1/8 inch per foot or square foot per foot. White cast iron is first step in the production of malleable cast iron. White cast iron is the first step in the production of malleable cast iron, and the general composition of the white cast iron are 1.8 to 3.6% of carbon, 0.5 to 2% of silicon, 0.2 to 0.8% of manganese, 0.18% of phosphorus, and 0.1% of sulfur. This is the composition of the white cast iron, and various applications are for producing malleable cast iron. As we have discussed, in order to produce the malleable cast iron, first we have to produce the white cast iron. For manufacturing of those components which required a hard and abrasive resistance material, where generally the component which are subjected to sliding or friction, those type of components are produced by this iron. And here we will see a uh, diagram. In this diagram we find the white and dark areas. The white areas are connected to the carbide areas, and the dark areas are connected to the perlite, or you can say it is a fine perlite depending upon the size. This is what the microstructure. This is what the microstructure of the white cast iron. And with this, we'll move on to other type of cast iron, that is gray cast iron. The flake graphite in a matrix of perlite or ferrite or martensite. So gray cast iron is nothing but graphite in the flaked form, and matrix can be ferrite or ferrite. Wide range of applications. Low ductility, it is just not even 1%, it is 0.6% of ductility or percentage of elongation we can take. Gray cast iron forms when cooling is slow as in heavy sections, and then with the high content of silicon and carbon, the gray cast iron is formed. Coming to the mechanical properties, high compressive strength, low tensile strength, high rigidity, high stability. Casting properties, that is properties useful for casting: high fluidity and ability to make sound castings, relatively low melting temperature, it is just 1130 to 1250 degrees centigrade. Machining abilities, easily machined to good surface finish, forms a discontinuous chip. So we know that when the metal is subjected to the machining, there are three types of chips are possible. One is discontinuous chips, and the other one is continuous chips, and other one is continuous chips with the built-up edges. So machining of this gray cast iron results in formation of discontinuous chips, so that the surface finish is good. And some of the special properties are self-damping. Self-damping does not vibrate itself. So damping properties are very good. And coming to the characteristics, gray cast iron is basically an alloy of silicon and carbon with iron. It is readily cast into desired shapes in a sand mold. It possesses machinability better than the steel. It has high resistance to wear. It marked by the presence of flakes on graphite in the matrix of ferrite. Graphite flakes occurs about 10% of the metal volume. The length of the flakes varies from 0.05 to 0.1 mm. It possesses machinability better than the steel. It possesses high vibrational damping capacity. It has low ductility, low impact strength as compared to the steel. Grey cast iron certification range is 1400 to 1000 Fahrenheit, and the general grey iron content or compositions are 0.2 to 2.5 to 3.8% of carbon, 1.1 to 2.8% of silicon. You can observe that the silicon proportion is very high compared to the other types of cast iron, and hence he said that grey cast iron is basically an alloy of silicon and carbon, and 0.0 to 1% of manganese, and 0.1% of phosphorus, and 0.1% of sulfur. This is the general composition of the grey cast iron. And the various applications are machine tool structures like a bed frame and other details, gas or water pump for underground purpose, the what you call the casing of gas or water pump, manual covers, cylinder blocks and head for the IC engine, brake drums and clutch plates, furnace plates, ingot and glass molds, piston rings, tunnel segment, rolling mills, and household applications. Household application. These are the various applications. Coming to the microstructure of a grey cast iron, here once again we can see the flakes, the flakes, the lines, that is graphite, and the dark color area is nothing but ferrite. So we can make a statement that in the grey cast iron, the flakes will be the what you call reinforcement, and then ferrite is the matrix. So so this is how it appears, and with this we'll move on to other type of cast iron, that is spheroidal graphite cast iron. The SG is formed by adding magnesium to the molten iron before pouring. When you pour a magnesium into molten metal before putting into the mold, it results in formation of graphite spheroids, also known as ductile or nodular graphite iron, for better ductility than the grey cast iron. So this is the code of handbook. Unlike long flakes as in grey cast iron, graphite appears as a rounded particles or noodle or spheroids in nodular cast iron. Ductile cast iron possesses very good miscibility. The soft annealing grades of nodular cast iron can be turns at very high speed and very high feed and speed rate. So these are the parameter of machining, that you can say that the cutting speed and the feed can be very high. Generally, in the case of machining of cast iron, the parameters like depth of cut, speed and feed will be should be less. Otherwise, what happens? And the wear rate of the cutting tool and as well as the surface obtained will be very dull, so that machining of cast iron will be conducted or done at low speeds. And the general composition of SG iron are 3.2 to 4.2% of carbon, 1.1 to 3.5 of silicon, 0.3 to 0.8% of manganese, and 0.8 to 0.8% of phosphorus, and 0.2% of sulfur. It possesses damping capacity intermediate between the cast iron and the steel. So various applications are paper industry, machinery, internal combustion engines, power transmission equipments, farm implements and tractors, valve and fittings, steel mill rolls and roll equipments, pipes, pumps and compressors, construction equipments. You can observe the application area. In this, all components are subjected to speed or dynamic in nature, apart from taking loads. So this is why, because the damping properties of this cast iron is good. And then and then this is the microstructure. It will show circles. This is not circles. These are the spheres of graphite. That is nuclear graphite, and the black entire area is nothing but the fearlight. That means fearlight. So we have a fearlight mat or matrix, and then in the fearlight matrix we have got the nodular graphite. And because of this shape, it is very good for the machinability. The machining properties of the this cast iron is good compared to the other types of cast iron. So another one is the malleable cast iron or malleable cast iron. Graphite in nodular form produced by heat treatment of white cast iron. Graphite noodles are irregular clusters, similar properties to ductile iron. Malleable cast iron is one which can be rolled and hammered to obtain different shapes. Produced by heat treatment of hard and brittle white cast iron. Malleable cast iron possesses high yield strength. It has certification range of 2550 to 2065 Fahrenheit. And general composition of malleable cast iron is 2 to 3% of carbon, 0.1% of phosphorus, 0.6 to 1.3% of silicon, 0.1% of sulfur, and 0.2 to 0.6% of manganese. It has low to moderate cost. Cost is not high or not low. It has a sinkage of 1 by 3 by 16 inch per foot, and this shows the sinkage. And it possesses a good wear resistance. It possesses good vibrational damping capacities. It has got a low coefficient of thermal expansion. That means when it is subjected to heating, the amount of expansion is low compared to all other types, because of this property, that is low coefficient of thermal expansion. And then coming to the properties: good shock resistance, good ductility, good machinability. Applications: malleable iron is better for thinner castings, and ductile iron is better for thicker castings more than 40 mm. Powertrains, frames, suspension and wheels, crankshafts, steering components, transmission differential parts, and then connecting rod, all are made by this cast iron. And coming to the microstructure, look at here, we have got a white matrix, and then the dark portions are tempered carbon. So the white is the ferrite matrix, and dark portions are the tempered carbon, or you can say that it is very close to graphite. This is what the microstructure. And other applications are railway components, electrical line hardwares, conveyor chains, agriculture implements, and pipe fittings. These are the other applications. And with this we'll move on to some of the MCQs. The first one is percentage of carbon in cast iron: above 2%, below 2%, 0.67%, any of the above. If it is below 2%, or it is above 2%. If it is below 2% or very, let us say up to 1.6 or 8, it will become steel. And this value 6.67 is the value that the iron can accommodate 6.61% of carbon in it. This is the that means answer is above 2%. Which of the following is not a type of cast iron? Gray cast iron is yes, gray cast iron. Sorry, white cast iron, gray cast iron, malleable cast iron, and light cast iron. So the light cast iron is not the type of cast iron, and hence for 2D is the answer. The slow cooling of cast iron favors the formation of dash. Slow cooling of cast iron favors the formation of dash. So the answer is graphite, ferrite, perlite, and magnite. Magnet. Magnet is not all come into picture. So the answer is graphite. SG cast iron contains dash percentage of carbon. It is 3.224% of carbon. Because of this high carbon content, the graphite flakes are produced, and it will take the what you call spheroid shape. Hence, the answer is the A, and B is 2%, and 4 C 6%, and 1 to 6%. So for 4, the answer is A. The cast iron having low coefficient of thermal expansion is white cast iron, gray cast iron, and malleable cast iron, light cast iron. So the answer is malleable cast iron, which possesses very low coefficient of thermal expansion. So with this, I have completed the session 6 of module 3, and thank you very much.